And so now we're running around trying to figure out what happened. And so we've found out the trick behind the magic. It's just a tunnel. There's a tunnel. And also Lynette cross-dresses as Linny. And I think that that's neat.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
And this man has voice of all time. And we are here with Navia, who is a pirate-looking lady. And I like that in a woman.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear?
Yeah, we are under the impression that she at least understands how the legal system here works, and works is a strong word for anything in this legal system. Why would you do this to me? We just started. It has not even been 10 minutes. I can't fucking believe this. Just end the stream.
Here's a broken vase! Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
Oh my god.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Paimon says like she's never gonna think about anything. There are many pieces of the broken flower vase on one side of the tunnel. All the water within has been spilled. Judging from the distance, it seems unlikely that it was knocked over by the trolley meant to transport the magic box. Paimon's like, I'm just here to wear the goddamn mustache.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Oh, that's fucked.
Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Oh my god. Clothes belonging to Halsey. I can't get over the fact that her name is Halsey. I'm sorry, that's never gonna get me. Not the Yukiko coded. Oh my god. Were found in the tunnel. The reason of this remains unknown. God, I just really can't get over her being named Halsey. Like, I'm gay. It's funny. High precision is required to complete this magic show, and tracks are perfect for making the trolley stay on its designated course. So true. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. Wow, really insightful, Aether. I'm so glad that you told us that. The trolley is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must have used this to execute their plan. We should not be in charge of this man's legal defense. I'm just saying.
What is this?
Oh, Lenny, you're fucked. Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
So true, Silver.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
They have a point.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
Not if they just put the person in and just pushed.
There are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
I'm still amazed that Paimon can write. I'm gonna be real. That's really thrown me for a loop. Tunnel vent. The tunnel vent looks like it could allow one person passage barely, but leaving along with the missing lady seems an unrealistic prospect.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene.
So true.
Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Yeah, Lenny's screwed. Like, just...
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
I'm gonna say he's mad fucked. The counter goes up again.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
Then have we checked the basement?
The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
I don't know that I believe
So
you.
the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels!
Usually, Paimon says as if she has not read one singular book.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lenny and Lynette.
In fairness, she was not actually confident in it.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
And Lenny's going to fucking jail.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
Yes, our weird, magical, sentient machine.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced.
I'm just saying, has no one questioned that? Has no one been like, our nation is apparently doomed, and we are running everything off of trial juice. And the trials are definitely totally fair and valid. Like, no one.
The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will
Like,
all be
that's-
projected on the Oratrice.
I'm so aware of it now. Anyway, that's mad fucked.
To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
That's mad fucked. It just is.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
I'm gonna say he seems like genuinely fair, all things considered. I'm not biased in any way. But I feel like the assertion of machines as an impartial bias is always bad. And I know that that's probably just part of the building metaphor that they're going for, which means they're doing so successfully. But just as like a in-universe without metaphor sort of thing, like, yeah, like someone has to program the machine. The machine still learns from someone, and you can do what you can to like feed the machine different information, but again, people are choosing what that machine learns. Like, the machine is not actually impartial. Like, it makes me think of like facial recognition software that like is notably racist. Like, it's not an uncommon phenomenon.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference.
I don't like that. I don't like that shit at all.
Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Well, that's something.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
The way that they do the little French accents is really deeply entertaining to me. Because they always agree. That's fair.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always
Okay.
come to the same judgment.
I just had to keep
Which
going.
is why people have great faith in the Chief. Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Do the guards know that I have daily commission? Did anyone tell the guards my resin is capped?
Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
I've said it many times and I will say it many more. That is bad fucked.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside
Yeah.
help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so,
Yeah, the help
it could
outside
prove
I want is
problematic if we
fucking
happen to describe
Yanfei
key
with her
information about the
legal
case ahead of
degree.
time.
She is a lawyer. I want to consult my lawyer friend who is a lawyer. And not myself, who is just sitting here.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh my god.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point!
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
I know, I was just telling her about it earlier. I was like, oh, you're gonna love this.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too.
I assume we will still get to have them tomorrow.
I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over
Okay,
some
that's
tea
no,
and
that's
sweets?
actually valid.
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
I personally think that Navia should be able to DoorDash sweets.
Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
That's a blatant
What
lie.
do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Thank God for Navia.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, mademoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Fuck. What is happening? What is happening? I just want to
Wait.
know.
You're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
Thank God.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Fair enough.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
That is an understatement. Yeah, I think it is.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven!
Those do look
Oh,
good.
it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling.
Never mind that macarons have to sit for like 24. Whatever, doesn't matter. I do think she did mention like talking about the case over tea and sweets. So, in theory, this is the preclusion to us prepping for the case. Please, please, God.
From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process.
They are clearly just here to be the heavy lifting.
But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
I can't do that. I am obsessed with this guy.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
I'm obsessed with these three. Whatever is happening here
I
is
was just thinking,
so
Aren't you worried
strange.
about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency.
You
or your
can't start
macarons will
talking
crack.
about And lie. You can't start talking about the intricacies of macaron making without acknowledging that they do have to sit for like 24 hours to get the whatever. No, it's fine. It's
fresh
fine.
Out of the oven.
You're
There's
also
3
not
for
supposed to
each
eat them
of
fresh
us.
out of the oven. It's fine.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Why would you do me like this? I'm a good fucking person. They don't have to? Okay. Whenever I've looked into making them, everything is like, you must rest them. Or else. That's fair. Like, I'm sure they're better if you do.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the
Yeah,
spirit.
that's fair.
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Fair enough, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
that makes sense.
Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some
Oh,
criminal also
interesting.
occupied its
Okay.
sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The missing girl and the deceased.
The flower
Taco
vase and the
shell.
thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel,
Interesting, actually.
resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction.
See, I feel like there's something to do with the broken vase, the water, the prophecy, and the fact that, like, her clothes are empty, you know?
Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
Empty? Well, like... the fact that her clothes have been discarded on the ground. They're empty. There is no person in them. I'm saying empty because I'm thinking about it in terms of her turning into water in some way. And therefore, they would go from being on her to emptied. I'm a good person.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person.
Like, there's part of me that thinks that what is going on is more akin to the prophecy and that particular trick having something, and potentially it not necessarily being the water actively swallowing people, because the way Clostelar is kind of nervous about it, it feels a little like she knows more than she's letting on, and also that it frightens her in a way that she needs it to be someone else's fault rather than her own. We'll see.
But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Not Cowl. Well, because I think the thing about Halsey being missing is that I don't think we can inherently assume she is a victim. Because I think a man dying who wasn't supposed to be there and is in the spot she was supposed to be in and her disappearing does not inherently mean she was kidnapped, and very possibly means she was involved. And we're just kind of looking at, like, oh yeah, there was this pattern of these disappearances, so we're going to attribute this to that. But that's not like... And if we had more than 24 hours for the trial, we could get to the bottom of that now, couldn't we?
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does
Like,
she
it's
have
definitely
any
unlikely.
motive.
Like, there's a
The guards
reason
said
that we
she
would
has never
rather.
had any dealings with
but-
the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case.
In fairness, Paimon, I think that's the point.
Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
Jesus Christ.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Oh my
Why
god.
not only count 3? Honest!
Yeah, there really is. 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of things that we are taking as fact that we don't know as fact. That are very much like assumptions. And they're assumptions based in things. Like, I don't think they're entirely invalid, but I think we also can't treat them as irrefutable fact.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
That's the least French thing you've said,
Is
sir.
one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Okay, so we're implying that 2 of them were stolen by the culprit.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat
no, we're-
and eaten them by mistake. No big deal.
I'm just saying, we have been sitting here in wild conjecture, and no one has considered that the missing macarons could have anything to do with this.
Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
I'm obsessed with her henchmen.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
it would
that's it
probably
for
help
snack
if you
time.
focused
I'm
on
going
it.
to have another look around the area.
Maybe we'll find the missing macarons.
I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again.
We are not attorneys. Do not call us that. Yeah,
It would be
it really
awkward if
is.
you got all tongue-tied
Absolutely
on stage during the
bonkers
trial.
insane in the best way. You know what's awkward? Pointing at a random stranger and going, "You're an attorney now."
All right. Thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go.
Yeah, I have
I'll
no
be back
clue what's
if I
going
find
on
anything
here,
new.
but it's good. I don't know.
All right. It's time to put our heads together.
Oh yeah, we'll just wait
Now
until
we're
the
gonna get
trial.
Ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare.
I'm obsessed with the fact they're like, just wait.
Take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Cause yeah, okay. Yeah, my theory is that she turned into water right here. Is here's the dress, which is empty. Sticking with it. And it goes into this whole spill of water. Cause I'm like, looking at the shape. And it feels like the water is coming from this more so than coming from this. Because if we can assume... yes. Yeah, you'd really think we should be able to talk to them. And or the water transporter. I don't know. Well, because I'm thinking of the prophecy specifically. Because there's the whole prophecy around Fontaine and the people dissolving into the waters. And that was like a huge thing on our way up here. The prophecy. And since the whole thing is about like the people dissolving into the waters and then like combining that with the fact that Farina is like very clearly like visibly uncomfortable about what's happened and starts immediately kind of going into grandeur and dramatics until Nicolette is like, are you for real? And she's like, oh shit. Which makes me feel like she knows something about the disappearances that we're probably not going to find out for like a year. I do not feel prepared for this.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
It's only a matter of time until they start throwing truth bullets.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
Girl, that means nothing in this country.
Besides,
Like, that means nothing.
I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
No, but she's a fucking god. People will listen to her, as will the machine that she made.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
I think it's interesting that they go out of their way to point out that Nicolette and the machine have always come to the same conclusion. Because it makes me think that they won't on this case. Because they're making a big deal. Yeah, it was either her or it was the original Hydro Archon. It could be the original one. Because they just said that it was made by the Hydro Archon. And so it could be the one before her.
Best of luck to you.
Interesting. And I feel like they're not going to agree on the outcome of this case. I think they wouldn't have pointed that out otherwise. It could really be just like normal world building.
Finally,
but
you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
I don't know what happened, Lenny, and you're going to jail.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
But he's gonna be disappointed in the goddamn jail cell.
No, we're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed?
Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected.
Yeah, the fact that no one's asking for the water trick is driving me a little insane.
Proof of their innocence.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Hi.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident,
God, calling them the audience
Mr.
just
Linney
feels
explain
so
the truth?
gross.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
But you're not explaining the water trick.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
I mean, considering the whole thing was the fireworks, I don't think he can technically claim that.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, but he's doing the really cute thing. He's innocent.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to
He
refute his
sounds so
statement in any way?
disappointed in her.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. It really is Danganronpa.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
So the assumption that he's lying is just that he committed the crime. I'm gonna throw her. I know that's the point. I'm gonna throw her. Yeah, that too.
That is simply your hypothesis based on
I
the
love when
presumption
your
that I'm
rage
guilty.
makes you censor yourself so that you don't have to wait for us to de-auto-mod you.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring
audience
countdown
counting.
of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing
Jesus
that might
fucking
leave an
Christ.
impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Because she's being dramatic.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Oh god.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
That's so... I'm trying to think of any phrase that isn't mad fucked, but it's the only one I've got. Because that's mad fucked.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can
I'm
also collapse in the
going to
blink of an
throw
eye.
her.
Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
I think that Zhongli would drop a mountain on her head.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Oh, are we about to get into classism right here?
House of the Hearth?
Oh. Oh lord.
No wonder they did something like
Oh
this.
Jesus fucking god.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Oh boy.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute.
Why are you saying that like a challenge? I feel like this should just be part of the proceeding.
Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it.
Girl, your eyes freak me out. Oh, they're cool, but goddamn.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my.
Oh my
don't
god,
they
the
look
little...
flabbergasted. Now comes the infighting in Discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Girl, you must kill your inner cop.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Oh, Jesus God.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
In fairness, it really isn't relevant to the case, objectively.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points.
And neither of them hold water. Unintended but accepted.
First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
Dude, you can't... I'm disappointed in you, Traveler. Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to kill someone in front of God. Thank you for the good joke. Look into the little cat girl's eyes and you tell me if there is anything she's done wrong ever in her entire life, because the answer is she hasn't.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Oh, he looks so sad.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
Jesus
What
Christ.
should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
And that's why y'all aren't the fucking judge now, isn't it?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order,
Yeah.
I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
I like him.
This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
You know, that is not enough time, King, but...
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even
You're so
after
valid.
knowing
Hello.
what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Waves. Benzema.
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while
I will.
longer.
I will tell her. I will also be saying hi to her myself. I just feel like we should have done this before the trial. I don't think they withheld information. You didn't talk to them.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
Okay, respectfully, Linny, seriously, you really didn't think she would do that? King, you're too smart for that.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry. Ugh. Paimon doesn't know where to start.
It really
We
is.
trusted you two.
Like...
We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
Okay, but from what we know, the Fatui are not objectively just inherently bad guys. They don't necessarily have methods that are cool. Yeah, like one, Paimon, you barely know them. Two, we cannot assume that all Fatui are bad guys. And I know that that's my own bias here, but like, objectively, the Fatui are a neutral force. More so than I would say an evil force, as far as what we know. They do fuck shit up, but we don't actually know all of the machinations. Like, obviously there's ones that have done some fuck shit, but we've also seen plenty who do not. Like, and like, it's also, I think it's interesting, they say specifically that they are from the House of the Hearth, which implies that they may not currently be involved with the Fatui. They may have just been there at one point, which we know that the Fatui is, like, fairly prestigious, but also, like, it's kind of not compulsory, but, like, it would not surprise me of anyone who had moved from Snezhnaya to another nation to have spent time in the Fatui. Which, like, it may be that they are also currently involved, but, like, I think that we're making a lot of assumptions on things that, one, we didn't ask, two, we didn't talk to them before the trial, and three, are not actually relevant, and we should not be letting the Archon pull them. This is my wisdom.
Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
Yeah, Paimon, well, your opinion doesn't fucking matter, so there is that.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
I'm sorry, they're so cute when he's angry.
I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
I was gonna say, like, the Fatui is not like a small thing.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the other thing is we did spend the whole first part of this quest helping them just genuinely help people. And also the whole, like, oh my god, he's loaded? Like, yeah, that sure is Fatui money,
I know if it
huh?
weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends.
Aww, gonna cry.
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
That wasn't a lie. Okay, I'm just saying. Lying by omission is not the same. And again, it's not actually relevant to the case. Like, I know we're supposed to make this whole big dramatic thing, but it's not technically relevant to the case. It's not like there's some digging that we should look into that girl was also involved with Fatui. Like, if it's something like that, then yeah, it's relevant. But objectively, we are just talking about one show, one instance, and there is no reason to assume there's Fatui scheming involved in this particular instance.
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Look at his little earnest eyes.
You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
You look at that cat girl and you tell me she's ever done anything wrong in her life.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Yeah, because also, it's not like they sought him out. We approached them. Like, it's not like they were like, hee, Fatui time.
Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear your answer first.
Because I was gonna say, that's the part I'm more worried about. I don't give a shit that they're Fatui, but if he actually was not there during that, that is a problem. Yeah. Fatus just sounds kind of hilarious.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask.
Okay, we just asked it, King.
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
We heard this line in the trailer.
During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Oh, and the Oratrice ain't gonna like that shit. Yeah.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
In which case, either their guards lied to us or they're bad at their jobs, because their whole thing was that no one, during or after the performance, went through that vent or accessed the basement.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the
Oh,
only
hey,
one
we're
in the
having
room.
another hearing voices moment. That's fun.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
I mean, they have been talking about wanting to save this nation, and the Oratrice is objectively mad fucked.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave
Which,
because
again,
you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Half of this shit, objectively, could have been ironed out had we spoken to our client before the trial. Because we would have gone over our facts, and one of our facts was that, like, bump that we all heard. And so, had we spoken and gone over all of the evidence with our clients prior to the trial, like we should have, we would have gone, okay, and what about this bonk? Any clues? And they'd be like, what bonk? And we'd be like, hey, Linny, what the fuck? My inclination is that this was meant to be like the start of a series of shows for them. And so 60-second like chunks maybe, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, Traveler, you decide.
Well, we're going to decide to trust him because he's a good boy.
Okay, thank you.
We're defending him. He's a good boy.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Thanks for the pun, Paimon.
Huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Well, I don't. The chamber contained the Oratrice core upon entering the tunnel and did not witness the crime taking place, thus did not hear the thud. Then he claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Oratrice core within the Opera House's underground structures. I think we should also mention that in the time between him leaving and him coming back to the vent, he saw the vase enclose. What do you think, Bennett? So true. Oh my god, Miki is so flopped.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us
I love
continue
Ace
the trial.
Attorney.
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the
I
events.
think that we get to say something, actually.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention.
I'm going to
At this
throw
stage,
her.
Let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
It's really just Ace Attorney. Oh boy, okay, based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their state. It's literally Danganronpa. I prepared for this. I prepared for this in the mines. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The Oratrice will display such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Jesus Christ.
As the countdown began,
Yeah.
he entered the tunnel.
Okay, that... God, it even has like a little like half anonymous animation thing.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an
Yeah, no,
altercation with
this
Halsey,
is not,
which
in
caused
fact.
the loud thud.
This is terrible. This is also just not. It's not Ace Attorney. We've gone full Danganronpa.
He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through
Who's
the
the
magic
accomplice,
box in the
Farina?
audience stands.
Who's the fucking accomplice?
Operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Okay, so
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what
I'm
happened.
having aggressive Danganronpa flashbacks.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
Many.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linny experienced, and what he saw.
Okay. So, need to identify loopholes in this. So we have. Wait.
Seems this won't.
Linny entered the tunnel. Okay, hold on. Do we need to refute all of the points? Let's see. Linny entered the tunnel. Actually, Linny entering the tunnel is fine. I'm assuming we don't have to refute that one. Okay. Loud sound.
According to
Okay.
Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He could have had that altercation with Halsey.
Okay, so we have that one. Then kidnapped. Okay, no, that's not that. Wait, no, because that... Maybe it... No, it's not that. Okay.
See,
I'm doing a bad job.
Linny
Okay.
went to the room that contains the
Oh.
Oratrice's core.
Okay, that's...
This
So I'm
is
mixing
the
up what the
actual
evidence
truth.
is trying to say. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm learning the method. Okay. Knocked Cowell out. Wait, hold on. So, what we're trying... Okay. I'm understanding as we're... Okay, so... The existing evidence indicates that when Linny returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place and all Linny saw was. So that's where... Okay. Okay. And so that's where the clothes come in. Okay.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation.
Granted, they're
He
not gonna
only
fucking
witnessed
believe
traces
that.
of the aftermath.
That's okay. No, no, I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready. I wasn't... Oh.
Attention!
Or they just auto. Did I just do it right?
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access
Okay.
the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something
Paimon's
was
voice
amiss,
actor
he
did go
returned
off on this.
immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
Okay, nice. Good for us. Step 1, down. Okay, cool.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually
I'm
managed to
understanding.
fail that!
This is much less stressful than shooting a truth bullet at at the correct statement.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Yeah.
That's right!
My reasoning?
The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. I am enjoying
If
this.
that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel,
I can't
who
believe
was
you would
the
say
entire
Wahoo and not
setup
send the
meant
Wahoo
to
rat.
kill?
How could you do this to me?
Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Get her ass, Paimon.
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Navia's like, yeah, I gave them macarons instead of telling them to talk to their client.
Well,
Sorry, I can't
your
get over
denial
that.
is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Oh my god. This is so funny. Okay, wait. Evidence that Linny wasn't in the tunnel. Okay. Wasn't in the crime, okay. Why do we only have 8 out of 9? What did we miss? Okay, these are all irrelevant. Okay. We need to decide between these. So, evidence that Linny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place. Strange sound. I guess so it is. It's just the strange sound, right?
That's right!
Okay.
Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
And we got that out of him very genuinely, so...
Means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Oh my god.
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic.
I'm obsessed with her, like, inner self reactions.
Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Oh god, okay. Correct is the deduction you must make. Okay. So you've answered all the questions, you can complete the logic chain. Okay. The guard's investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned the rope suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. If Linny is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Well, because also specifically, Cowell was the props guy. Linny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Linny himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of onstage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Select any clue to view detailed information.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
I love that some of these are voiced
He
and
would
not
have been
all.
able to tamper with the equipment.
Yeah.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Okay. Wait, that's not... Oh! Wait.
The deceased's name is Cowl.
Oh, so you have to do it immediately. Okay, that was what I... There we go. Sorry, I thought it wasn't letting me pick that one. I figured I would look at all of them and then have the option to choose any of them. Okay.
The killer was, in fact, Cowl, the deceased!
Oh, I wanted to check the rest of it. Oh dear.
Is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl
Okay.
did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Okay, how can we envisage Linny as having been unable to interfere with the crime? So...
The deceased's name is Cowl.
we have him able to tamper with that. Then we're proving that there's an altercation in the tunnel.
The deceased's name is Cowl. Linny's
Actually, so... unable to interfere.
No one entered or left the opera house through it. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between them. It would have been tough for both people to...
Okay, so let's do that here. Then proving the altercation is going to be the sound.
The sound we heard may have come... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would...
Okay, prime suspect is
The
Cowl.
deceased's name is Cowl.
And where did the missing Halsey go?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances.
I think...
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment.
I'm
Halsey's
gonna
clothing
say
was in
this
the
one
tunnel,
because this is what I'm thinking, but I assume I'm wrong. Okay. Okay, it's those two. Oh, so it's not... Okay. Linny being unable to... I guess
Linny was not
it
in the
could be
tunnel at that...
this. Which means...
It would have been
Could
tough for
be.
both people to fit into that.
No, so...
No one entered or left the op...
Nope, okay. So is it the tunnel? Okay.
It
So
would
it
have been
is.
tough for both people to...
No. Okay, hold on. The criminal must have understood the methods behind the trick, must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Leaving aside how he died, Cowl had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. Strange noise could likely be the sound of Cowl and Halsey struggling. Linny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cowl to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that they would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go? I think she's the puddle. I think she's the puddle.
This was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it.
Girl,
But
you
it
don't know where
seems
she is
you're
either, the
still
fuck?
far from the
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
I like him.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like
Unless
this
she's
is
a
a magic
puddle.
trick where you can just make a real live person
Oh my
disappear.
god. Thank you.
Like you did from that
Jesus
riot,
Christ.
Net.
We're finally here. Yeah.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
I'm going
There is
to
no
throttle you.
greater sin in this opera
It's the
house
water
than
trick.
an
We were
awful
right.
delay in the performance.
Mad fucked.
If the defense
Reason
is unable to
held
make further
aggression.
effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Oh my god.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. The vase was not broken by chance. It was used...
Yes, I love to be right. I feel so vindicated right now.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Exactly. And this is why I said the dress was empty.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
You know, like the prophecy.
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Girl, I want you to look at your own eyelashes and then try to call other people preposterous.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Also, like, the thing killing me with this... Girl, you are the Hydro Orb. You are literally water god of the water.
I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
And we don't know where the fuck she went.
We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment.
They have to stop making Linny do that, but it's so cute every time.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Yeah.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope.
Girl.
The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
But I mean, even stalling the trial, if you are so sure about it, will still come to the conclusion.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney.
Thank you.
Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse,
with him. Oh, I like
believe
his
that
moves.
additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
I adore him. He is so good.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
No, that's not how that works. You should finish investigating.
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
And I bet it's all the missing girls.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
There's drugs into that?
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
You might say it's mad fucked.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Hell yeah, it is.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Yeah, it's your own fucking prophecy, dude.
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
Which means they killed two people.
It's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, you should be hesitant, motherfucker. Me just splashing around in the puddle, but it's just Halsey's corpse. That's so fucked up. That is mad fucked that they just let you walk all over that puddle.
If people can
But
become
also, I would
water,
like to point
does
out that I was
mean
right.
The water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowl was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
No, we found her. And she do be a puddle on the floor.
Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Okay.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The liquid the guards found in Cowell's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontanians into water.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Okay, hold
The
on. He's our prime
deceased's name
suspect.
is Cowell.
What item to control the timing?
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Okay.
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
I assume our timing is this, since we mentioned
Now
that
it
it's
seems
for
like the hook rope was
a
not
triggering
meant for another
mechanism. Oh, we do
The
know it's
water from the
this.
primordial sea.
What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
The rope that held the water tank up was
Yes.
lit by the.
This might not be it. It's either this or the box. Okay, yeah, I think it's the box. This one
I
is...
remember there was
yeah.
something else.
Okay. Nice. Out of curiosity, Jenny, is this the part you were telling me about earlier with mechanics?
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target.
The fucking evil smile is killing me.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve
Yeah, that's
Halsey.
just user error.
Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
I'm still confused how he got in the box, though. Like, we still don't have that answer.
It does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Nice. Okay, I think it's fucked up that it isn't tilting towards us.
Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Girl, this feels like something you do regularly, I'm gonna be real.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Nice.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
I would shit myself,
Thank you,
I think.
Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
Right?
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt?
No, it actually makes it way more
My
confusing.
dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Like, it reeks of framing. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Yeah, like, this all feels like stuff they should have looked at before. Which, again, maybe if you'd given us more than 24 hours to prepare the trial, we could have done that.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
I think the other part she's leaving out. Who wants to murder someone literally in front of God and everyone?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon.
Would we not be able to see that on the body?
No. As much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
Okay, here we go.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
No.
We've used up all the evidence we collected.
That's not
There's
true.
no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
No. No.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this.
I don't think that's true.
Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning.
Gonna throw her. Yeah, I'm like, this reeks of planted evidence.
I believe this is indeed the finale.
I heard that one in the... So, is my little boy on his way here?
Noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Is this my little boy? Here he comes.
Excuse me, everyone.
No, okay,
but
never
I
mind.
must interject.
She's just as good. That's not
Miss,
true. I don't know her as much
not
yet,
to
but I do like her.
shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Avia, I love you.
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again?
Girl, I'm gonna be real. I have no clue what you're on about. I'm into it, but I have no clue what you mean.
Such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
Lenny's like, God, I'm going to fucking jail.
I understand.
Lenny's like, I am so doomed in prison.
And voila.
But I assume that Navi was able to use the stuff in some capacity.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh my god.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
I don't know. That's it.
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
I think it is the thief.
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial.
Oh my god.
I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
Girl.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
Is it because he tried to dissolve you?
What? Why?
Oh.
Firstly,
Oh, okay.
my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
There's a whole lot happening here.
I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy
Oh
a
my
ticket,
God.
so I stole one.
Sneaky butt.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff
Okay, so it
here
is
and
the
there.
thief.
And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
So are
Lenny
you
was the
telling me
one
you
who
just
caught me
killed
in
this
the act.
random man because you got caught pickpocketing?
Hey!
But also, again,
wonder
I
you
love
look
being
familiar.
right.
So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure.
Okay, in fairness, that is also the conclusion I came to. I can't blame her on that one.
So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
Oh my god. Help.
I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box.
Yeah?
There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes.
I was wondering why we didn't actually go through those
I slipped out after the first
boxes.
guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Yeah? Okay.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
I mean, technically. Oh my god. See, I saw her and I immediately was like, well, because I was a little bit suspicious when Lenny was like, oh no, she got away. Yeah, we got all the stuff back, but she got away. Feels like. I was like, this is gonna come back. So I was looking for her. And I think that's really the only reason I noticed her earlier on.
That makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Why do we need to tell it? Girl, just make her do it. The fuck? Okay, Lenny entered the tunnel. That's fine. Halsey did not dissolve. Wait. Okay, so... Okay. The ones we need to refute also are all blue. How would Halsey have reacted when the water from the primordial sea suddenly began to trickle in? No, it wasn't that. Okay. Is it just the thud? Okay.
The strange sound.
I was like, it's either the
wasn't from a
thud
fight.
or the fact that she
It was
used
Lilianne's
the...
attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay. Then... fight did break out. Okay, that's where the vase goes. Okay.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lilianne and Cowl.
And then Lenny knocked Cowl out. Is instead... it... No, okay. Is it gonna be the... Okay.
Lilianne was
I wasn't
afraid
sure
that
if
she
the
would
clothes
be
were here
recognized if she
later.
left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time.
Okay.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
It doesn't have to be.
Having been selected out of the blue, Lilianne panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lilianne had not dissolved. He did not know that Lilianne was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lilianne back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lilianne came out on top, knocking Cowl out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
You're so good at this. Who needs a bar exam?
She knew that she would have
Go
to
found
go
a
through
straw.
guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So
She's not done cooking.
in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she
Aha.
sold 2 of them right under our noses.
I love...
Talk about a sneaky thief.
of being right.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Yeah.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Oh, honey.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
He sounds so tired. Auditory equivalent. Oh my god, you're right. Oh, why would you say that? Why would you say something so brave but so cursed?
Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
You don't deserve it. God bless.
Wow, look at that! She's like a
He really is the
deflated balloon
babysitter.
now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved.
So it may not have happened, but I was still right about it.
He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box.
Obsessed with Nicolette.
Became his own final victim. Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused,
Linny doesn't go to jail. Woohoo! Can we get some Wahoo rats in chat?
While there is much in Linny and Liliane's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Rhodologies to make the final decision.
Needs time to cook.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Here's your receipt of go to prison or not go to prison.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn.
Get his ass.
How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Literally.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Oh.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Okay, in fairness, I'm a little bit understanding the people of Fontaine. This is wild.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
That was in the trailer too.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable
I can't believe they've introduced the drug trade.
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking
so
about.
about to get murdered. Yep, there he goes. Saw that one coming. The French water really is special. So that's what, on-screen death number 2?
Now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Can we get an explanation, please?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
We doing this shit again? Oh no, oh my god.
So, we're just going back back now?
I mean...
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
They're like, for the love of God, I would like to just one day to actually look for my sister without solving the crisis of a whole nation.
Winnie...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
I can't believe that this is the tragic ending to the very homoerotic moment we had with Linny.
But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself.
I'm gonna cry. I like
plain
him.
Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all.
Crying because they're orphans.
That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting
Oh,
us
I
back
forgot
then,
that
too.
was a thing. Oh, that's good.
The knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette
did
and I
not
were
wait
left
for an
wandering the
answer.
streets.
Yeah, I'm sure no one is.
To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
The cats are like splooted on my bed.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
Where does Femine come into this?
Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and
Is
we could
this how
say
we get
goodbye
Femine?
to those
Sorry,
painful days.
I have an investment.
But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
I don't want to hear your opinions on anything.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle
Oh, am I
as
about
me.
to feel bloodlust? I feel like I'm about to feel bloodlust.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh, I'm experiencing bloodlust. Pico, can you not scratch my... I'm having a moment here, bud. You're ruining the vibe. Thank you. Don't slow blink at me.
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
I mean...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
I like Arlecchino. I like her a lot.
She'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered
Holy
several
shit.
girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Holy shit.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
I like her so much.
I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Nice. I hope that by destroy he means murder in cold blood.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Yeah, seriously. I'm so glad that she super murdered him. He deserved to be super murdered.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
I do see them doing the marketing now, though.
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland.
Interesting. I don't think I realized that Arlecchino was Fontanian.
To us orphans,
sometimes murder is the correct
only connection
choice.
we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Shut up, Aether. I trust him. It's ain't about you right now, okay, bud? But also... yeah, human trafficking is just... happening. And that's... we have to stop making Oceanid jokes. This can't continue through the whole of Fontaine. I can't do this for a whole year. We have to stop making Oceanid jokes. They have to stop here. No, it absolutely had to be written this way on purpose. Oh my god. But also I still would really like to know where Femine comes into this.
It's all
because
right.
I have an agenda.
I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
Does line up with what I was saying earlier, with the Fatui motivations being not... yeah, the background music's really good, but like the Fatui not being this inherently evil organization, but a lot more complex. And I enjoy that. And I'm excited to have this quest / this nation kind of explore that a little bit more.
If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Bye, Linny!
Were you not the one making a whole deal out of not trusting him earlier?
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
He's like, motherfucker, I'm tired.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Huh.
I do think it's interesting that they are taking a route of, like, actually having the Traveler be, like, kind of tired of this shit. Like, making a point out of, like, oh yeah, everyone in Fontaine knows who he is and is, like, looking forward to his deeds. And he's like, bro, I'm so sick of this.
I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't worry. The savior complex will kick in before long.
Say that, Navia?
We know it.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the
She knows
reflection in
just
the
the
murk
shit to
become
say.
clearer.
She's so aware.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Literally more than we got from Smeru.
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are
I
no
like
regrets
her.
later.
She's very sweet.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Also, she's absolutely going to use that meal to convince us to work with her, and I enjoy that for her.
If Boss Navia's treating, can't paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Then, let's have our farewell meal!
Nice. Act 1 complete.